Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. We're on to Chapter 5 of the mod. It's the Sebastian Loyal Companion mod. And yeah, we've hung out with him a few times now, and we're pretty well acquainted, and we got more messages on our answering machine. Hey, just wanted to inform you, I talked with Bryce, and he's happy to swap shifts with me. If you want to meet up for the fireworks, give me a call when you can, and I'll tell him I'll take his offer. Wow, today's the day of the big fireworks. Who do I want to bring? Hey Sebastian, might get some endings today. Hello. I see you're still in uniform. I just got off work. You can take it off if you like. Assuming you're off shift, that is. At this point, I definitely am. How's this? Perfect. I just hope we don't need the flashlight. Shall we go? Wait, should we go? Do we need the flashlight? It's going to be dark out there. It's too late, we're committed. Here we are. Normally I would have taken you to Taxi Park, but everybody else is there, and I didn't want to overwhelm you. Bryce recommended this spot for its seclusion. I have to say, it's pretty nice. It does seem pretty empty. Let's see how good the view is though. I assume you didn't have all these kinds of festivals back on the farm. No, we didn't. This is one of the benefits of living in a small town. To be honest, the first time this happened, I was the only one here who didn't know about the fireworks, and they frightened me a bit. It was my first week here. I didn't know anyone here. I was laying in bed, getting ready to sleep, with the curtains closed, and all of a sudden I hear explosions. I scrambled out of bed, thinking it was some kind of emergency, and I ran out onto the balcony. All I could see is the sky filled with dazzling, bright lights. It was breathtaking, even though I wasn't expecting it. It turned out that was just one of the first nights, of course. You've seen those already. I promise you they're petty compared to what will happen tonight. Just then, the first few rockets started making their way into the sky, exploding in brilliant colours. Sebastian and I laid on the grass, watching as the night sky was painting in new hues each passing second. Here come the fireworks. This is the first time we've seen this with Sebastian. A lot of the other times, well, sometimes, yeah, Sebastian actually gets killed off screen and we just find his body. So this is a nice little change of pace. But suddenly a terrible realisation hit me. Considering how public of an event this was, and how I was told multiple times that everybody would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Reza to do anything he planned to do. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever have. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. Sebastian, we gotta go now. But the good part's just getting started? I know where Reza is. Are you sure? Positive. We need to get going. Where to? Portal. He's going to use the fireworks as the cover for his escape. Isn't the portal broken? It's a long story, but not anymore. It's been fixed by Izumi. Not that we know it's Izumi yet. As we arrived, Sebastian looked around before returning to me with a suitcase. I can't find Bryce anywhere, but I did find this near the portal. Sebastian popped the case open. Eggs. Reza must have paid a visit to the hatchery again. I'm gonna hide them for now. Sebastian ran off and left the suitcase amongst some foliage on the edge of the clearing, covering it up as best he could, and ran back to me. You should go in first, he trusts you more, and it would be a fair fight with me, what with his, gun. Yeah, maybe you can talk him down first. If something goes wrong, don't be a hero. I'll be here, waiting around the corner. Sounds like a plan. Wait a second, I just realised I still have this thing. I found the stun baton on my person, and handed it over to Sebastian. Did you take this from the underground facility? I may have, while we didn't know if we were going to run into something nasty, and forgotten about it since then. I see. Still, it might prove useful to you now. Okay, here we go. When I entered the building, I was met by a long, illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Since the lights are already on, Reza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since the generators were also powering the portal. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Reza carrying a large cardboard box. And when he spotted me, he set it on the ground. Yo, you're here. You don't know how glad I am to see you. I wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried to contact you, but I couldn't with someone tailing you the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this. Let's get out of here. No. No? What you talking about? I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions. You want to talk now? Sure, why not? We've probably got a few hours if we wanted to. None of them will disturb us here. We could even get the backup generator as well after we send this one over. When did you realise we were in the past? How did you know about the comet? I've known for a while. It's what I wanted to talk with you about when we met at the portal. How about you? I only recently found out. Looking back, it just seems so obvious to me now. I'm not sure how exactly you figured it out, but there are so many damn clues when you think about it. I mean, how could a supposedly completely different independent civilization speak the same language as us? What was this supposed to be? An alternate reality? No, it's just a different time. When was there ever anything resembling these creatures on Earth? It's not hard to make the jump from dragons to dinosaurs, when some of them here look pretty damn near identical to dinosaurs that we know about. And then there's also the prehistoric fruits, the plants, and the fact that their technological level is nearly exactly the same as our own past society. But we don't even have to think that abstract, just look at the sky. The sun and the moon, even the stars are the same. Constellations change over time, of course, but you know, we can account for that stuff. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and it would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky and how it would change its position day after day. Are you done being condescending? I guess so. You killed the dragons, Reza. What a brilliant deduction, Sherlock. Why did you do it? Do you really need me to spell it out? I thought better of you. After I found out the truth about this place, I knew just waiting for the generators we were owed was not an option anymore. It would have taken who knows how long, but I didn't intend to stay a day longer than necessary. You wouldn't believe how hard it was for me to acquire some generators. Some of those dragons didn't go down easily. But who cares that they got the generators back that I stole? With just this one, we won't need any of the others. How could you do it? How could I do it? Let me ask you this, what harm is there really in taking their generators when their whole civilization will be gone in a few weeks anyway? The ones I killed just died a little earlier than scheduled. Even if that creep hadn't shown up and interrupted our meeting, we wouldn't have had the time for them to make the generators for us. How about we don't let them all die? They aren't going to be extinct anytime soon, if that's what you're concerned about. I paid the hatchery another visit before I came here. With the right persuasion, I think we'll have plenty of reasons to keep at least some of them around. Bodyguards, border patrols, weapons, even as pets or companions, as long as we make the necessary changes. See, it's not as bad as you might think. I'm not going to just abandon them like that, only for their whole civilization to be wiped out. Get your priorities straight. Next, you'd rather starve, because you suddenly empathise with the stake, and you're not satisfied just starving by yourself. No, you're going to let all of us starve, because you want to impose your morals on everyone. Since when do you think that you get to have any say in this? You know why you're here. What you're proposing is treason, and you know the consequences. Personally, I don't mind if you want to stay here. You know I don't care about corporal punishment. Just let me through, and you can do whatever you wish. I can't do that. I see how it is. They've told you they need the generator to stop the comet, huh? And now you've become their lackey. Don't tell me you've been drinking up what they've been telling you. You know that they have as much of a vested interest in this whole thing as humanity does, that I and you do, or at least used to. Do you think they wouldn't do the same thing if it was their families on the line instead of ours? Their entire world's on the line. They live in perfect harmony, with a perfect green energy source and no reason for wars or conflicts. We had that too, and you know what happened then? Of course you do. This is such an idiotic trope, you know. Random person meets weird natives, learns their ways, and ends up saving them. What do they need you for, huh? Maybe they're going to be extinct for a reason, if they can't even save themselves. You know of our suffering, and yet we'll let them have it? I don't care what happens to them, but unlike you, I was at least trying to save humanity. At any cost? We have the solution right here, and you want to get philosophical now? Don't you think we deserve it? They've had it for who knows how long. Now it's time for us. Not like this. Do you think I like it? If there was a different way, I would have spent the last few weeks doing what you didn't. We don't live in this fairy tale world of yours, where there's a perfect solution to everything. You should know that. Just being here for a few weeks must have messed you up. I think I know why. You got too used to all the comforts they have here. You actually don't care if they all die back at home, do you? As long as you can stay here, in this perfect little world of yours, you've discarded everything and everyone back home and replaced it with this. Maybe it's because you just don't have a life back home. I can even understand that little bit. Of course it would be nice to just stay here, where they have everything that we don't, but being here also reminded me of everything I hated about our world as it used to be. The pettiness and the politics. Say about the solar flare what you want, but it levelled the playing field and gave people like us a chance to make a difference. For all of our efforts, what do we get? A vote that was meaningless and a sea of stupidity and lies. Now everybody has to pull their own weight. We make the rules. You of all people should understand. Of course they wouldn't. They haven't experienced how it is to live like we do now, to see the world burn and everyone you know die around you. But because I have, I won't let the same thing happen to them. How many do you think died back at home in the 2 weeks that you've been here because we didn't have the power for the hospital? Do you think those victims aren't worth mentioning? Or would you just care about the few dragons I killed? Our city is the last bastion of a civilized society in a world where nothing else is left. Maybe you've forgotten about them. I haven't. How many of us do you think will still be here in a month or a year? Or are they just a statistic to you? The same could be said for the dragons. What do you want to do? Talk me down from doing this? Then what? It's too late anyway. Do you think they're just going to let us go after what I've done? It's a fat chance. Whatever you might think, you'll find that our leaders back home agree with my course of action. Why are you telling me this? Because I expect you to join me. I know that you've probably seen this ending a few times, but because it's with a completely different angle with Sebastian, why not go through it just this one more time? Not gonna happen. And you call yourself an ambassador? This generator's the only thing we need for our city to survive. How can you even argue about this? The dragons also need that generator, and I'll do what's necessary to stop you if I have to. So, that makes you judge, jury and executioner. What a wonderful set of roles you have there. We only need to wait until the comet has passed safely. You think you can stop the comet, and you need the generator to do that? Sure, and if your plan fails, then not only is this world gone, but we also lose any and all hope to save our own. We're so close now, we can't risk anything by waiting for your crazy plan, when back home they're dying by the minute. I won't let you. You only want to save your own two-faced hide, because you don't want to face the consequences of what you did. Kinda hit a nerve there. Why are you laughing? Because it's a joke, must be. I'm the one with the gun, and you thought you could just waltz in here and lecture me? Listening to you was fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what you gonna do? You can't stop me anyway. Here it comes. Halt. Reza Izquierdo, you're under arrest. Here come that gun though. Reza pointed his gun at the both of us in turn, not sure of who to aim at. Damn you. To think I let you distract me, because I thought you had a shred of humanity left. Just put down the weapon and come with us peacefully, Reza. I'll promise you no harm. You just don't get it, do you? Uh-oh. I've been risking my own life to save humanity for 2 weeks. Do you think I'm just going to stop now? Here's what will happen instead. Both of you get out of my way and lay down. If that's not good enough, I have enough bullets to take care of you once and for all. Think about what you're saying. You really think you can do it? The last person to convince me otherwise will be my so-called colleague who spent the time sipping champagne in their cosy apartment. Besides, this whole building with the generator came from our time, and they belong to humanity. Actually, they belong to me. Oh, she is! Without warning, the administrator stepped out from the hallway behind Reza. The fuck are you? Freeze! Unfazed, the newcomer continued to slowly approach Reza. Wanna waste your bullets on me? Go ahead. Can't stop us all. As you wish. Bam! Reza pulled the trigger, and the administrator fell to the floor with a dull thud, knocking her mask off. Okay, so it is Izumi this time. It isn't us. But she is down. Taking advantage of the distraction, Sebastian charged in. Without a second thought, I followed close behind. Oh man. With the stunned look on his face, it became clear to me that it wasn't Reza who fired the third shot. The fuck did you do? Call me full of myself again, jackass. The generator sitting on the ground next to Reza began to hiss loudly. It's gonna blow! Run! Uh-oh. As soon as we made it outside, the generator exploded. I was surprised Sebastian wasn't keeping up with me until I took a closer look. Oh, Sebastian, you're hit. It can wait, stopping Reza's more important. What the hell? Who the hell was that? Does she even realise that she blew up humanity's best hope? Uh-oh. Not that it matters. There are more that I can steal. No, I don't think so. While Reza was brooding on the loss of the generator, Sebastian managed to take him by surprise. All the bullets though. Ah, Reza managed to hit Sebastian 2 more times before Sebastian struck him with the stunned baton. Immediately, Reza fell limp. Sebastian pushed himself up, but made it only a couple of steps before he collapsed again. Sebastian! I ran over to him and checked his wounds. Oh, that's not good. I think I got him. Yeah, you did, but how are you holding up? He tried to lift himself again, but had a coughing fit and spat out blood instead. I've been better. Running out of ideas, I took my bare hands and put pressure on 2 of the 3 wounds. Sebastian winced in pain, but barely moved. Come on, stay with me. While desperately trying to keep Sebastian's blood loss at a minimum, I spotted some movement out of the corner of my eye. Oh no, I see you'd rather help one of them than a fellow human. Did you forget which side you're on, or have you been a traitor from the start? Don't you dare high-road me, murderer. We could have saved both them and humanity, but you never think of anybody but yourself, do you? At least I still care about the people back home. Which is why I don't mind leaving you here, if you want to stay on this dying world. Before Reza could finish his sentence, Bryce, who'd been lurking in the shadows until then, swung around and whipped Reza with his tail. As it connected with his head and made a sickening crunch, he let out a deafening roar that must have been heard throughout the entire town. Bryce, what are you doing? Get out of the way. Too shocked to object, I obliged, and Bryce was swiftly upon Sebastian, who was barely even coughing at this point, trying to plug the same wounds I was. After coming to my senses, I thought of what I could use as a bandage and noticed Reza. Having been hit at least at body length away by the head, his neck was at an odd tilt and a part of his skull had caved in. There's no way he survived. I tried to quell the revulsion welling up in my stomach for long enough to be useful, but it was a sickening scene. He won't be needing this, I guess. I pulled off his already blood-stained shirt and brought it over to Sebastian, where I tried to plug the 3rd wound. Don't. It's no use. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but he's dead. Sebastian dead! No! Even though I just heard it, I couldn't believe it. I stood there in total silence, and the only thing I knew of that moved was the cloth dropping from my hand. I don't know how long it was, but it felt like years before the medics showed up. They pushed Bryce and I away from Sebastian's body and told us what we already knew. He was gone. Still in shock, I stumbled back to my own apartment. I didn't say anything to Bryce as I left, but our gaze connected for a fleeting second, and in that second I silently knew he understood the pain I was in. I collapsed into my bed, hoping that everything I had seen and felt was just another of my all-too-frequent nightmares. Deep down, though, I knew it wasn't. Bryce visited the next day to offer his condolences. I took the moment to tell him about the comet. He didn't understand too much of it, but brought me before the council. With the help of the recovered PDAs, the council agreed to put a plan in place, but without the underground facilities generators, I knew there was a bleak chance. I waited a few more days before preparing to leave, long enough to not feel that I was abandoning them to their doom. As I finished my preparations, Bryce came by to tell me that the police had organised a funeral for Sebastian. As much as I was looking for closure, I couldn't stand to face those memories again. After declining the invitation, I hurried out of the apartment. As I prepared the portal, I took one last look at the town and all of its denizens, soon to be eradicated alongside so many others. My nerves stilled and resolve firm, I spoke to myself as I stepped through the portal. I'm gonna set it right this time. For you, Sebastian. That was a bad ending. Oh no. That was terrible. That was really bad. Okay, so I know that this mod does have multiple endings. I believe it has 5. Well, that must have been the worst ending. We can't have worse than that. Sebastian's ending. Ending C. You seen? Okay, you got endings S, A, B, C, and D. Oh, so there is a worse ending than C? Oh, wow. Okay, let's do it. So let's try this again. I just need to work out what I can do that's different. So obviously Sebastian, we got to do his route again. But I found a little bit of a guide, and it seems to come down to what items you pick up in other chapters. So there was the stun baton, that does seem to be a fairly important thing. So if I don't get the stun baton, I also get a different ending. So I just need to work it out. There's also something about a map. I don't think I've found a map. So I think I need to work out what that is as well. So I think chapter 3 might be where things start to happen. We get trapped down here, don't we? And the gun shows up, which is obviously a bad time. We do not want this. But I gotta try out some different things to what I did before. So before I just grabbed him, but if I tell him to run... Does... what? Oh god. Sebastian just gets shot up. It's too late. Sebastian didn't move quick enough. In a blink, he was riddled with holes and a growing puddle of blood. I didn't know what to do. Just then, I felt something on my face. It was a tear. All I knew, all I could think of, was that I had to get out of here. There's a large number of rooms here, each with a different labelled door. A large blast door, tightly closed, stands out among them. Wait, is Sebastian dead? Status check. He says he's good. It did sound like he just got exploded or shot up. Okay, I'm just going to work this out a little bit, and then we'll cut back. Okay, I've turned off the lockdown. The lockdown was over. I could escape. My relief was short-lived when I stepped outside and saw Sebastian's corpse still bleeding on the floor. How was I going to explain this? How was I going to show someone what happened? Sebastian was dead, and I was the last person he was with. A loud beep from the security computer tore me away from my thoughts. Unauthorized personnel detected on security station. Login compromised. Activating. Failsafe. Failsafe corrupted. Activating contingency plan. Attention all personnel. Contingency plan has been activated. Evacuate immediately. T minus 60 seconds until detonation. What? I frantically looked around as the hallways were bathed in red light. Okay. Do I run? What do I do now? So, Sebastian's dead, so this is obviously a bad route. So do I stick around? Looking around, I simply couldn't find anything that would refer to a contingency plan. Meanwhile, the computer simply kept counting down, no matter what I did. That's not good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then... we got blown up. Oh no. So that's definitely not what you're supposed to do. Seems you met with a terrible fate. Perhaps you should try again. Maybe I should try again. So the contingency plan didn't run out. I just make a run for it. I ran for the elevator as fast as I could. Surprisingly, the elevator doors are already open. I rushed inside and slammed the up button repeatedly, but nothing happened, no matter how much or how hard I pressed it. Oh, and we just get blown up again. So that's no good. Either way, that is a bad thing to do. So the only thing that you can do in that situation is you have to rescue Sebastian and then escape. But I think this time I'll leave the stun gun behind. That is my next option. Okay, this time we're going to save Sebastian's life. This is what we need to do. I already know the password, so just grab him. Grab him out of the way. Because then we survive this attack. So I can just go straight to the computer now and deactivate everything. So that will be fine. So if I just go to the other side, go left. Got to remember all this. Security room, computer, deactivate lockdown. It is change me 27, which I can't spell. So change me. There we go. Password's incorrect. That's not fair. It's definitely that. Oh, it's changed me 44. So the password is randomized. Okay, fine. And I'm deliberately not going to get the stun baton. We're leaving that behind. Because I think that's how you start getting different endings. Okay, security room. Computer. Deactivate lockdown. Change me 44. It's randomized. You have to go find it. There we go. And now we can leave. So that's chapter 3 done. So should we tell them anyway? Let's do some different stuff. Let's tell the guys that we found this crazy secret base. If someone else went down there unprepared, it might end even worse for them. Yeah, you're right. I'll file a report and inform Bryce. He'll know what to do. As we went together to the mouth of the cave, Sebastian wordlessly offered me a hand and helped me out. So we escaped, but we don't have the baton, so this is going to change the ending. The next morning, I took a phone call from Sebastian. He must have gotten in quite early to resume his duties. He informed me that although he told Bryce about it, he was unable to find the same cave again. It got me thinking about whether or not those events really occurred, or if they were just another one of my increasingly strange dreams. Well, nothing happened then. Okay, let's keep going. Let's leave the hat on this time, and we're going to skip on through. Okay, I followed Sebastian to the roped-off entrance to the building and ran inside. Because we don't have the baton, we're going straight in. We can't have that conversation, we can't defend ourselves. It's going to be a bad day. Same old argument with Reza, we know how this goes. Taking advantage of the distraction, Sebastian charged in without a second thought. I followed close behind. Ow, ow, ow. Missing the first shot, Reza landed the next 3 hits squarely in Sebastian before taking aim at me. Instinctively, I froze. Uh-oh, good. Take another step, and I'll leave you to die with them. Honestly, for as much as help you've been, you're hardly worth the bullet, traitor. Revolver still in hand, he gestured to me to get down, and reluctantly I complied. You know, it's funny. What does she say? You can't stop us all. She got what she deserved for being so full of herself. Carefully, Reza jagged the generator with one hand while pointing the gun at me. Once he turned the corner, he put the gun away, picked up the generator and ran. By the time I got up, I knew I couldn't beat him to the portal, but I had a more pressing matter to attend to anyway. Hunching over Sebastian, I could tell he wasn't breathing anymore. Oh no, this is horrible! Wow. The administrator, however, seemed to be luckier, though very pained. I checked the nearby rooms for a first aid kit, and found one fairly quickly. I began dressing her wound as soon as I returned. We screwed that one up, didn't we, Izumi? I say so, but as always, not irredeemably. She turned her head and coughed, spitting blood onto the floor. Got what she deserved. Reza's going to pay dearly for that little quip. Clearly, he doesn't understand that we will be stopping him, even if it takes another 100 timelines to do so. Wincing in pain, Izumi managed to stand on her own, refusing my help. Though, that does remind me, you need to be more careful around him. You're not the only one going through this time loop, you know. If the premonitions of the others you've met are evidence enough, even he will soon be aware of our plans. As we made our way down the hallway, I took one more sorrowful glance at Sebastian's corpse. Izumi must have noticed my hesitation, because it was her voice that brought me back to the present. Come on, I know you can save him next time. Oh man, that was rough. I wasn't expecting an extra special artwork for a bonus death scene. Damn. By the time we made our way outside, the portal was powering down from a recent use. Reza was nowhere to be seen. As we made our way to the portal, I could hear heavy footsteps rapidly approaching. I turned around to find Bryce charging at us with remarkable speed. Bryce, stop. We're already too late. What do you mean by that? Reza escaped with the stolen generator. Damn. And he killed Sebastian in the process. Bastard. If my claws were on his neck, I'm sorry about that. Unless you need anything, I'm going to check him out. Not because I don't believe you, but because if there's any chance you're wrong, I'm afraid not. Again, it's not that I don't believe you, it's that I don't want to believe you. I know, and I'm sorry I had to tell you. If it's any consolation, it's not going to matter much anyway. What do you mean? There's a comet on its way that's going to wipe out your entire civilization. Man, Izumi, chill. That generator Reza stole was your best hope at deflecting it. And who, might I ask, are you? After a few more taps, Izumi looked up from the portal console. The portal itself appeared to be initializing for another opening. That's not as important as what you're going to do about it. And why should I believe you? Because she's the one who's been keeping me safe. You remember the falling lamp? I do, and that was... Alright, so I'm to assume that we're all about to be annihilated? What should I personally do about it? Whatever you think's right. I told you everything you need to know. I told your ancestors to watch the skies for this. Our ancestors? Come on, it's time to go. As I walked up to the portal, I turned to face Bryce one last time. I know you think it's bad science fiction, but she's a time traveller. Wait, how did you know? So am I, and I'll see you some other time, Bryce. That's really bad. That's really bad. Okay, so we got more endings to find, so I guess we're going to have to do that in the next episode. This is Usho, signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time. By the way, do you still have one of Reza's guns? I think I do. Why? Give it to me. I'm going to need it. Sebastian's ending. D. I think that's the absolute worst ending. You've seen S, A, B, C and D. So all the other endings are going to be better than these ones.